Good evening and many thanks for joining us. You're watching QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Caraba Avenue with me, Ansumana Sonyase. First, here are the main news headlines. The Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with the Yuan Longping Agricultural High-Tech Company Limited of China, have commenced a one-month training course on hybrid rice comprehensive technology in Genoa Agricultural Training Center in the Lower River region. And as part of ongoing engagements with stakeholders in developing a national policy on online protection, a day seminar with internet service providers, GSM operators and content developers and providers was held on Friday. To address the ongoing impact of climate change on the fisheries sector, the government of the Gambia is collaborating with partners such as the FAO to implement climate resilient measures. And as it gets ready for a national polio campaign set to start on November 12th, the Ministry of Health Thursday engaged stakeholders on the level of preparedness and to galvanize support. On Friday, the Women's Association for Victims Empowerment collaborated with the Gambia Federation of the Disabled to host a workshop advocating for disability rights. Well, stay tuned for more on these and other stories. And now here's the news in detail. The Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with the Yuan Longping Agricultural High-Tech Company Limited of China, have commenced a one-month training course on hybrid rice comprehensive technology in Genoa Agricultural Training Center in the Lower River region. Our regional correspondent, Bakari Balde, attended the opening ceremony and he filed this report.
The training, attended by 60 participants from various departments of agriculture sector and the community, to train on how to use technology in agriculture advancement in the Gambia, especially on hybrid rice production. The Ministry of Commerce of the People's Republic of China entrusted the training to Yuan Longping High-Tech Company Limited to carry out the training. Don Zhang is the Chinese embassy's economic and commercial counselor in the Gambia.
Since the 2019, we began the first term of the, we call it the rice cultivation technology cooperation in the Gambia. After 4 years of successful implementation, I think they got a lot of achievements. And from the Ministry of Agriculture, from the President's Bureau, they also give lots of encouragement. Yes, I think it's very good.
Mr. Tong highlights that the Gambia-China cooperation has been very fruitful over many years and further outline the common thing we share.
We are inviting more people from the communities to join us. So in this way, I think, as we mentioned, also China's philosophy, all the development is for the people. We are centralized for the people. So I think we share the same philosophy with the Gambia.
Maud Ekeseka, the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Agriculture, says farmers need technology to assist them in different stages of crops development and outline his expectations of the training.
So we expect that when they go back, they will improve in their practices to make sure that their production is enhanced, is increased. Some of them are also staff extension officers. So we expect that when they are now teaching the farmers, they will be well equipped with modern techniques in terms of hybrid rice production to them. And some of them are also from the research institute, so it will enhance their capabilities in research. And some also are from the seed secretariat, and that's the seed cycle is very critical. So if they are also involved, they will be able to tell you, they will be able to vet the seeds that go to the farmers more or less.
James Mendy is a participant from the Urban Agricultural Directorate of the Department of Agriculture.
Country secretary that been able to fight hunger in the country is to bring hybrid rice, so that to train the frontline extension workers and also to go and teach the farmers in the same way, so that we'll be able to meet the demand and the supply of the country on the rice.
The Gambia-China Agricultural Technical Cooperation was formally launched in April 2019 to help Gambia to find a Gambian way to address food security issues, including achieving food self-sufficiency and sustainable agricultural development, and having such training will be a great help in attaining such goals. Participants from this training are expected to disseminate the knowledge gained in this training to various communities across the country. Bakari Balde, QTV News.
Now, as part of ongoing engagements with stakeholders in developing a national policy on online protection, a day seminar with internet service providers, GSM operators and content developers and providers on improving trust in online service usage for children and vulnerable groups was held on Friday. Alusise reports.
The event is part of the deliverables of the World Bank-funded West African Regional Digital Integration Program consultancy on developing a comprehensive national child and vulnerable groups online protection policy. It brought together internet service providers and content creators to present and discuss their existing or planned activities or initiatives that promote trust in the usage of their services and identify ways to improve and make it sustainable in the protection of children online. Hassan M. Jallo is the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy.
Aware of the absence of national framework or policy specific to the protection of children and vulnerable groups online, the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, in close collaboration with the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, deemed it necessary and fitting to work together on this important endeavor. This collaboration reflects the government's commitment to addressing the needs of the populace through a multi-stakeholder approach. In alignment with the Digital Economy Master Plan 2024-2034, we are committed to creating a resilient digital infrastructure that supports economic growth and development.
Sering Umar Lo, Project Coordinator, Sanusi Drame, Director of Cybersecurity, Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, and Professor Salma Abasi, the consultant, respectively, encourage participants to share their views to come up with a good and robust policy that protects the general public.
So we have a lot of different vulnerable groups that exist that we need to, see what measures can be put in place. One good thing is these kinds of things are not new. Every country that is doing business online has faced these challenges, and there are lots of good ideas out there. As stakeholders, what we try to do is what can we adopt that we can put into the Gambian context.
We, as a ministry, we are aware that we share a common agenda with the stakeholders, especially the service providers, in ensuring that we have a resilient cyberspace. And in so doing, we ensure that there is digital safety for our vulnerable groups, particularly our children.
Therefore, as we develop a common practice and a code of conduct for our own trust building in the services we provide, not just for the citizens of the Gambia, but also for the government of the Gambia, who have that duty of care to the population.
From these discussions, the consultant is also expected to design a consolidated program that will be adopted as a standard for all internet service providers on the way forward. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alu Sise.
Now, to address the ongoing impact of climate change on the fisheries sector, the government of the Gambia is collaborating with partners such as the Food and Agricultural Organization to implement climate-resilient measures. The aim is to transform the outlook for the country's fisheries workforce and to strengthen the sector's sustainability. Usman Jatta has more.
The effects of climate change are being felt not only on land, but also in the marine ecosystem, which is increasingly vulnerable to the planet's rapidly changing climate patterns. The ongoing shifts in climate are threatening the livelihoods of nearly 30,000 people across various fish landing sites in the country. In response, the government of the Gambia, in partnership with international organizations, launched a $25 million 6-year Green Climate Fund initiative in 2023 called Plurifish, which aims to help vulnerable fishing communities build resilience and adapt to the impacts of climate change. Here is Dr. Mustafa Sise, the Assistant Country Representative of the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, a key co-implementing partner of the Plurifish project.
Climate change threatens the livelihoods of fisher folks. There is a decrease in catches from captured fisheries, which is the main source of protein for the Gambian population and a pillar of sustainable diet as well as food security and nutrition, especially for vulnerable populations.
The Plurifish project provides a comprehensive approach to enhance adaptation, mitigate climate risks, and reduce the climate-related challenges facing the Gambia's fisheries sector. The project involves technology improvements, processing techniques, climate-proofing of the local fishery infrastructure, and diversification of local food systems. Currently, more than 160,000 people who rely on the fisheries value chain are benefiting from the project's initiatives. This climate-smart project goes beyond fisheries. Dr. Cisse elaborates.
It is about people. The project intends to improve livelihoods, enhance food security, and ensure that everyone, especially women, who make up over half of the beneficiaries of this project, have the tools and the support they need to adapt and to thrive.
Experts warn that the impacts of climate change on fisheries could significantly threaten food security. Official reports also indicate that by 2050, tropical regions may experience a decline of up to 40% in potential seafood catch. Salum Jata, a principal fisheries officer at the Department of Fisheries, reveals his department's ongoing efforts to promote and enhance inland fish farming.
Climate change have more impact on the wild capture fisheries. So that's why now we are also thinking of strengthening the cultural aspect. And as I said, productivity is higher in the coastal area compared to the inland area. That is why we want to assist the inland area also in the fish farming so that fish consumption can be higher there also. Because per capita fish consumption average is about 25. But if you consider it properly, in the coastal area is higher than in the inland area.
Through climate adaptation and mitigation strategies, Plurifish is building climate resilience for the Gambia's fisheries communities, helping them better cope with the challenges posed by climate change. Usman Jata, QTV News.
And a report there by Usman Jata will lead us to the commercial break, but we will be right back.
future is now. With QCell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled device. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, many thanks for staying with us, and if you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue with me, Ansmana Esonyansi. Now, ahead of the National Polio campaign set to start on November 12th, the Ministry of Health Thursday engaged stakeholders on the level of preparedness and to galvanize support for a successful campaign. More in this report. Over the years, the Gambia has earned recognition from the World Health Organization for its strong efforts to eradicate the polio virus, and the country is on track to achieve polio-free status in the near future. The country's last recorded polio case dates back to 1986, and since then, the government has remained committed to eradicating the disease through ongoing vaccination campaigns. As the latest polio campaign prepares to launch, the Ministry of Health has engaged stakeholders to discuss its plans and gather recommendations. Dr. Sidat Fofana, the program manager for the extended program on immunization, highlighted the Gambia's significant contribution to Africa's certification as polio-free by the WHO in 2020, marking a major milestone in the continent's battle against the disease. Addressing public concerns about the upcoming campaign, Dr. Fofana reassured partners that the campaign's primary goal is to prevent the re-emergence of polio and strengthen immunity among children. He emphasized that there is no cause for alarm as the initiative is designed to further protect children from the virus.
So it's not a cause for alarm. It's just to make sure that we strengthen the immunity level of our children so that they may not have this wild polio virus as it is spreading in the sub-region.
Dr. Ifeanyi Levenise Udenze, the WHO emergency team leader in the Gambia, along with UNICEF's national nutrition specialist, Yankuba Sao, emphasized the critical importance of protecting children through vaccination. While acknowledging the government's sustained efforts to combat polio over the years, they urged civil society organizations to play an active role in mobilizing and supporting the upcoming vaccination campaign. Both experts reassured the public that the vaccinations to be used in the campaign are safe.
This campaign is pivotal in vaccinating around more than 400,000 children aged from 0 to 59 months in the Gambia. We want to make it very categorically clear that the vaccines are safe, the vaccines are free, and they have been documented to be one of the most cost-effective means of preventing and protecting children from vaccine-preventable disease.
UNICEF believes that by promoting strong partnership, we can overcome barriers to vaccination, particularly for children in hard-to-reach areas. From health workers to community mobilizers, each partner plays a critical role in helping us reach every family with life-saving vaccines.
Saharun Kante, an official from the Ministry of Health, presented the Gambia's 2026 polio eradication strategy, describing it as a people-centered, country-owned and data-guided policy that reflects the integration approaches necessary to achieve polio eradication. The strategy aligns with the Global Immunization Agenda 2030, ensuring that the Gambia's goals and actions are in step with international efforts to end polio. The country's plan to eradicate the polio virus includes mass immunization campaigns supported by well-coordinated surveillance systems. As the upcoming polio vaccination campaign set to begin on November 12th approaches, officials are calling on communities, particularly those in rural areas, to actively support the campaign to ensure its success. Ansmane Sonyasi for QTV News. On Friday, the Women's Association for Victims Empowerment collaborated with the Gambia Federation of the Disabled to host a workshop advocating for disability rights. The event, funded by the United Nations Development Programme UNDP, focused on raising awareness and addressing the challenges related to the implementation of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission's recommendations. Mam Nabuka was there and seen our reports.
People with disabilities in the Gambia face numerous challenges, including limited access to essential services, social exclusion, and inadequate healthcare. A key issue is the lack of coordination between the government, non-governmental organizations, charities, and community-based organizations in providing services for people with disabilities. This workshop aims to raise awareness about the rights and protections guaranteed by the Disability Act passed in 2021. It will also provide updates on the government's progress in implementing the TRRC recommendations related to persons with disabilities. Marianne Cisse is the Finance and Program Coordinator for the Women's Association for Victims Empowerment.
When we talk about never again, we talk about inclusion. We talk about leave no one behind. And we understand the crucial role that everyone plays. So for them to be able to become active agents of this change, and for them to be also be able to participate with everybody in the public, they have to understand what the TRRC is, what are the recommendations, how can they play a part in all of these recommendations, how can they be involved in all of this post-TRRC issue to be able to foster the never again as a collective action for the country.
Reports from the Gambia Federation of the Disabled indicate that over 10% of the population lives with a disability. Despite this, stigma and discrimination remain widespread across various sectors of society, leading to increased invisibility of people with disabilities due to shame and cultural beliefs. Mohamed Kurbali, the chairperson of the GFD, emphasizes the importance of learning about and effectively implementing the Disability Act.
A state or authority to realize and achieve Sustainable Development Goals Agenda of 2030 must ensure the inclusion and participation and even consideration of persons with disabilities in every sector.
During the sessions, the Disability Act will be discussed in detail, along with strategies for how persons with disabilities can effectively engage with the post-TRRC recommendations. The goal is to ensure comprehensive awareness and understanding among participants. Adam Assar, the communications officer for the Gambia Federation of the Disabled, shares the outcomes they hope to achieve by the end of the workshop.
It's to have at least a well-sensitized or a community of persons with disabilities that are really aware of what is actually going on in the country, particularly when it comes to transitional justice, and to also ensure we have a more inclusive approach when it comes to the implementation of the TRRC, as persons with disabilities are part of society and are part of citizens of the Gambia, as highlighted in the Constitution.
The workshop is scheduled to run for 2 days, during which participants will develop actionable strategies to promote the inclusivity and active participation of people with disabilities in society. Mam Nabuka, reporting for QTV News.
Now, women vegetable vendors at the Brikamaba Lumo, held weekly in the Central River region, have expressed concern over the lack of storage facilities for their produce, which often leads to significant post-harvest losses. This story by Jibril Dem is narrated by Loli M. Kamara.
The women voiced their frustration that, despite their hard work during the rainy season and dry seasons, the absence of storage facilities at the Lumo has resulted in significant damage to their locally grown perishable vegetables. They emphasized that vegetable production and sales are their primary source of income, providing food for their families and helping to cover their children's school fees. To prevent post-harvest losses, some of the women say they are forced to sell their vegetables at lower prices, resulting in financial loss. They are calling on the government and philanthropists to assist them by providing modern storage facilities as would enhance vegetable production in the area and create employment opportunities for women and young people. Sarata Jamang and Fatumata Drame are vegetable vendors at this Lumo. Due to low sales, We are unable to transport large quantities of vegetables for sale as we lack proper facilities. Our products can only be kept for a maximum of 2 days before they spoil, resulting in significant losses. I am therefore appealing to the government for assistance in providing storage facilities to help preserve our vegetables and reduce waste. We thank God for His blessings, but one ongoing challenge we face is the lack of proper facilities to store our leftover products. It would be great if the government could provide a system or mechanism to allow us process our surplus into something useful, rather than having to disregard it. This business is our sole livelihood. It's how we feed our families, pay our children's fees, and support our husbands. Having a solution to manage our leftovers will make a huge difference for us. During the visit, the market stalls were brimming with vibrant displays of fresh peppers, potatoes, groundnuts, and leafy greens. Adam Sala, who sells peppers, and Hadinyang, another vendor, both shared that business has been slow. Despite bringing their produce to the market, they often struggle to make sufficient sales. We are in urgent need of assistance from the government. We are asking for small loans that will allow us expand our businesses and increase our sales. Traveling from my village to this market just to sell peppers, only to find that sales are slow, often results to more loss than profit. We need support to help improve our situation and make our efforts more sustainable. We are asking the government to help us establish a garden in our village. Having a local garden would significantly ease the burden on us. Storage facilities are crucial for the growth and sustainability of women vegetable growers. Reliable storage encourages them to increase their production, knowing they have the means to preserve their harvest. These rural women remain hopeful that their voices will be heard and acted upon, leading to the creation of a more resilient and supportive environment for agriculture in rural Gambia. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
And I'm afraid that's all about it for this bulletin. On behalf of the entire production team, thanks for watching. Do join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Until then, have a good night.